Amtrak is back. Oh, nice. Here's the other Amtrak. People up there waiting.
Where is the
Pretty cool.
Amtrak?
All right, so as you can see, basically Freighthouse Square is getting Amtrak service. If you guys don't know, be sure to join the Discord down in the description box below. If you guys don't know, basically here we created a whole new rail line that was supposed to speed up the amount of, basically speed up time on trains. And so instead of going what we call the bypass, which kind of looped around Tacoma, this was more of a straight shot. And one of the problems came in when a train was going too fast, met a curve area, and it derailed. Right, it was national news. Well, as a result, and this was all in anticipation of having Amtrak at Freighthouse Square and starting that whole thing up. And so basically the whole thing was paused and the old route was still used. And when you look at the old route, it still brings Amtrak to Tacoma, but it's at a different station. It's an old station, antiquated. Having it where it is now at Freighthouse Square was envisioned to make this a true train modal hub. And in fact, we're pretty unique in the area for having the amount of clusters. Tacoma is big on clusters, and they've worked very well. One cluster would be the museum campus. It is a cluster of 5 or 6 different museums. And then when you look at the university, it's kind of a cluster because you have University of Washington Tacoma, you have some other smaller private universities, I believe, and then you have Bates Technical College. So that's a cluster. Um, when it comes to our transportation, so logistics, we have a cluster because Freighthouse Square not only does have the Tacoma Link light rail, which goes all the way through downtown and into Hilltop, and it's a fairly decent sized system. But it also has a place for people to park. Right across the street is 2 large parking garages. And then within Freighthouse Square itself, you have the Sounder commuter train station. Then next to it, you have the Amtrak station. And the Amtrak station was just sitting there looking beautifully, right? Because Sounder uses part of that system, but then it goes down to South Tacoma and then it stops. It's eventually going to go to DuPont in a few years, but right now it stops right there at South Tacoma or Lakewood. I can't remember, right? But it doesn't go too much farther after you leave downtown. And so for a while, the only traffic coming through there has been the Sounder. And then introducing COVID, it shut a lot of that down. You didn't see a lot of commuters. And so the full potential of this whole train network was not really realized. Now that has changed. And so let me look these up to make sure I have them correct because there are 2 different Amtraks. Okay, most cities don't even have 2. There are some cities that don't have anything coming through, right? Louisville is a good example of that. Louisville used to have Amtrak, it doesn't any longer. Nashville doesn't have Amtrak. And so, unless that's changed. But we have Amtrak Cascades and then we have the Coast Starlight. Okay. When we look at the Amtrak Cascades, it basically is covering what's called the Cascade region, or Cascadia, as some would like to call it. And you're going from Seattle down to basically in Tacoma and into Portland and Eugene, Oregon, and all that. Right. So that's the Cascade one. The other one, the Coast Starlight, is basically what it means. It's the coast. So it goes from Seattle all the way down through to Tacoma, Eugene, Oregon. Then it goes all the way down to Los Angeles. So both of these rail lines, which are very important, are bringing people right into the hub of the city. This is very interesting because for some, they think this is not a big deal. It's just Amtrak changing their station from where it is. But it's very important because, for one, where they're dropping people off now, disembarking into Freighthouse Square, obviously helps our studio, the Painting Panda Pottery Studio. The more foot traffic we get, the better. But to be honest with you, it puts everything in one neat area. So, in the future, there's a possibility to add to the rail system. So, again, Sounder, Amtrak Cascades, Amtrak Coast. You have those three that use that rail line. The next thing that eventually will happen in a few years is going to be the light rail line from Seattle. Now that's the bigger light rail system that will be coming down right there in the Dome District. Now it could take over all of Freighthouse Square, which would impact our studio, or it would be on the street somewhere. There's four different alignments that they can do right in that general area. Now this is all coming at a very unique time because right now in the Dome District, it is really starting to catch on fire, meaning that there's a lot of development going on right in that general area. A lot of shifting and changing and different things going on. Keep in mind the bus hub is right there too, just over around the corner. So it is a true trimodal hub, one of the densest ones in the entire state. You don't even see that up in Seattle. And that has also led to the development. Part of Tacoma's legacy in terms of development of apartments is due to a lot of different things at one time. You find a lot of YouTubers who are in different parts of the world and they do videos about transit. Most of their energy has been focused on Seattle and the old Central Link line, which is basically line 1, I believe. And so that's their only focus, is the true light rail system. But they don't focus on Tacoma's T-Link line because they say it's a streetcar, which they're correct. But with that, hopefully you guys don't see my lips on this, but let me show you the cup, Embrace the Day. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see that? Hold on, let me turn it this way. Right? Okay, Google, stop. Sorry for those who have the Google system at home because I just now stopped everything that you guys were doing, but my apologies. So you have this system that is basically a streetcar. However, because of all the other density, and eventually the BRT line is going to connect down here too, you have something that is very important. This area is the reason why a lot of developers are coming to Tacoma. They're saying, you know what? We can literally build inside of the heart of Tacoma, no matter where we want to go. We don't have to focus just on the Dome District. We can build in downtown and know that people are close to everything. Once the light rail line opens here in Tacoma, excuse me, it's going to connect people all the way into the hospital campus. So you have Hilltop that's going to be connected. You have part of Hillside that's being connected. You have the Stadium District that's being connected. You have over there by Wright Park, which is going to be connected to this. The Medical Mile, as I mentioned. You have all these different neighborhoods that are going to be connected, and then right there in downtown, and then the Dome District, part of the Brewery District and the Dome District are all connected with this one line. It gives developers a very large area to develop. I think when everything is said and done, they're going to look at the density factor. You know, people travel, cities travel to other cities, they travel to Portland, and they say, look what light rail has done for Portland. It's been a great thing for Portland. Portland was very smart in terms of how they developed the system. Some may argue that it would have been better for downtown stuff to be underground, but they did it very fast. They did it very efficiently, which is the same thing, and they did it without spending a huge chunk of money like what Seattle has done. So, but at any rate, all of these things are happening at a unique time because right there in the Nome District, you're seeing a lot of different projects that are in the planning stages and starting to get developed. One I mentioned was Trax. Trax has been on the blueprint board for a long time, and they're finally moving forward with it. That brings a farmer's market that is going to be open year round right in that area. Now, if you look at Point Ruston, and if you look at their, sorry, I have a pottery tool. But if you look over there and you look at how successful the Point Ruston market is, imagine what that's going to do for the Dome District. All of those different vendors, I don't know how they're going to do it, but it's a two-story farmers market. It really opens the door for so many small businesses to actually be a part of it. Freighthouse Square is similar to that concept in a way, right? It allows a lot of small micro businesses in the area to open up shop there. And it does offer a lot of unique things. This particular project is going to offer a lot more unique things in a more modern facility. Given the fact that transportation is going to be right in that area, the Line T, as it's called, which is our Tacoma Link light rail, its terminus is right there. Sound Transit, they have their sounder that stops there. Then you're going to eventually have the Link light rail, Line 1. They're going to terminate right in that general area. It makes a lot of great sense. This is having Amtrak back is a great thing. It really does open the doors up for a lot of things because people who travel, wherever they're traveling from, this is where they're going to stop at. This is basically an inland airport, if you will. This is where all of those passengers that are coming from, wherever they're coming from, this is where they will end up stopping at. It makes a lot of great sense. It really does bring people. You know, I've been to cities where I don't want to go and rent a car. It's a lot of headache. It's a lot of hassle, and I'd rather rely on public transportation. This gives people that option. If we were to have events or a convention that opens up, people are able to literally, if they want to, come from Los Angeles all the way up, avoiding flying in, avoiding dealing with all the cars, and you know, because you still go to SeaTac, you're going to have to get to Tacoma. It's still a journey. This allows people to literally go right there at the Tacoma Dome, walk right across the street, get on the link, go to wherever they need to go, whether it be their hotel or what have you, and it makes everything a lot better. It is good news seeing these two systems back up and running where they're supposed to be. This is a really big thing, and I had to go out there and actually film it because, yeah, it's welcome news. So getting that back has been one of the big struggles, and it is finally to have that complete is amazing. That was one piece of the puzzle where we were weak at, and finally that issue got sorted out. So they are now serving, they were testing it for a bit, and now they're serving passengers, and we're just excited to have them back. Welcome back, Amtrak, both lines. It's good to see that. Hopefully we'll have some rail fans and people from other parts of the world who do videos like this. And there are a lot of people who travel, believe me, that travel and do videos about transit. Hopefully we'll have some rail fans that will come right there at Freighthouse Square and actually document all of this, similar to what I did. But yeah, and there will be people that will be able to tell me what type of trains that they were using and all of that. I'm not that good, but again, it is good to see all of this traffic back. Anyhow, be sure to join the Discord down in the description box below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and comment. And until next time, I will see you. Take care.